You said speaker.
Same as the stuff.
Online, they just type something, just type we can hear you. Okay. I'd like to call this meeting to order at 5:48 p.m. Move on to land acknowledgement. We respectfully acknowledge that the SFSS is located on the traditional unceded territories of the Coast Salish people, including the Musqueam, Squamish, Tsleil-Waututh, Coquitlam, and Cree Nation. Unceded means that these territories have never been handed over, sold, or given up to the nation. And we are currently situated on occupied territories. Moving on to roll call attendance. Computing science counselor.
Hey, so Micah, I'm here.
Computing science. Volume is not down.
Hi, sorry, could you hear me?
Okay.
Hello.
Seeing computing science is not here, move on to engineering science. Computing science tried to talk here. Oh. Audio broken.
I don't think we can hear anyone there.
Hello.
Can you try to speak again, please?
Hello.
Can everybody online hear right now?
Yeah, everyone online can hear him. Micah, you're good. I think they can't hear you on
Okay.
that.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I was also.
Oh, that's sad.
I can't hear them. They can hear each other.
Here all my activities are met. I'm just gonna wait until we fix the speaker issue and then we're gonna move on. Sorry guys for the little difficulties.
Did you change something?
Do this one.
Also, I think you have the audio input set as the computer and not the microphone. Because real tech audio is generally computer audio.
Yep. Otherwise,
So the first one, the microphone.
If you guys change the audio, we can't hear you now.
Okay. Yeah. I think that one's not working. Yeah.
It's fine.
Well, it's the audio is only working when they switch it to a computer's microphone. That's
We
what you're-
can hear you guys now, but really only Adriana. Anyone in the back, like if Sam speaks, we don't hear Sam.
Let me just connect it to the can you switch it to the one thing.
Oh, this one, right?
For microphone.
No,
don't remember the name. Yeah, they're both real type.
No, like the handle, like. No.
Can you hear us now?
Yeah, it's a lot more clear now.
Can you hear us? Can somebody at the back of the room say something?
You have to wirelessly connect with your computer to go to Bluetooth, to speak the way. Go to Bluetooth. Settings.
I think it's a real thing. And it is. Yeah. Oh, it's okay. Yeah, no, I definitely, I can't remember the name of it.
Go for it.
I was like, I thought I know something for. Too fast. I'm here to-
Yeah, it's got everywhere connected. So I am very.
Should that work now?
I think we changed the speakers.
Yeah, so just change that. Working before then. It was good, we could hear the, we couldn't hear the mountain playing, yeah, and then we could hear them, but they could never hear us. That's fine. The whole time I think I was part of my. Started in presidency. My first year. And I am almost on to me was his replacement.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
That's better. That's why you have to change the settings for on the.
I was just gonna say, like, January.
Already changed it, but.
First
Wasn't David? I didn't think so. What's yours? I don't think.
Yeah,
they were- Like.
Yeah, it might have been.
Yeah. Came in.
Yeah. Should have been started the financial year.
Started the financial year, then I know we got it.
It's probably-
And then the, that's right. Yeah, IFS. Oh, I know.
It wouldn't have been. Thought again.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
She was not a user. Yeah, no.
Sorry, did someone call me? Hi. Can you guys hear me on that end?
We're graduating and then once we graduate, they're gonna.
Okay, because I can kind of hear you, but I can't make out the words.
It looks like we're teaching now. Can we just make sure I'm focused on?
Hi. Can you guys like hear what I'm saying? Because I can hear you guys, but I can't make out what you guys.
I cannot hear either.
Evan, say something.
Hello.
Hey, turn up the volume.
I think we're still having trouble hearing the boardroom. Can you guys hear us at least?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can
Could
turn-
one of you just speak from the back? I think the front is a little better, but like maybe Sam, could you say something?
I am speaking from the back. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, it's better. I think you guys are just gonna have to be a little louder. It cuts here and there though.
Oh, if I were to speak like this, would you hear me?
Yeah. Does anyone else also wanna chime in? I feel like I can't make it out completely, but it's okay.
You hear me, Simmer?
Well, it'll be a little bit easier when we're only speaking one at a time.
Look, I heard Sam with the can you hear me, so it should be
Oh,
fine.
you can hear really low on the speaker. All right, so y'all will have to very much listen to the chair then on when to speak.
We can, but that's really low.
I use my mic as well, but just on the. Alright, I'm gonna continue. Can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
Just gonna test.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I'm just gonna move on. Moving on to engineering science counselor. Are you here?
Hi, I'm here.
Alright, thank you for that. Moving on to software systems.
Hi, I'm here. Access needs are met.
Thank you. Moving on to study of arts and social sciences.
Hey, everyone, Nanjaya pronunciation is all access needs met.
Thank you. Cognitive science. Cognitive science. Moving on, CSA, I am here. My name is Henry, pronounce he, him. My accent needs are pretty just fine. Moving on to economics. Economics. Right. Moving on to English Student Union. GSWS. Indigenous studies.
Evan and Shatola, he, him, all access needs are met.
Thank you, Evan. International studies. Yago, he, him, all my needs are met. Thank you, Yago. Labor studies. In the chat. Linguistics Student Union.
My pronouns are they, them, and all my access needs are met.
Thank you. Business. Business. All right, I'm just gonna move on. You can do your intro in the chat. Interactive arts. Yeah, my name is Caleb. Thank you, Caleb. Education counselor.
Hi, my name is Shivali. My pronouns are she, her, and all my access needs are met for today. Sorry I couldn't be there in person. I have a commitment.
No worries. Environmental science.
Hi, everyone. I'm Grayson Bark. He, him pronouns. All my access needs are met. Thank you.
Thank you. ARC.
Yeah, my name is Nina. All my access needs met, and my pronouns are she, her. Said art like archaeology.
GSU counselor.
Here, I'm Jeffrey and all access needs are met.
Thank you. Health science.
Hi, yeah, I'm here, and all my access needs are met.
Move on to science undergraduate society.
Hi, I'm Catherine. She, her pronouns. All my access needs are met. Thank you.
Thank you. Move on to BNSS. BNSS. Thank you. BSU counselor.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nick. My pronouns are he, him, his, and all my needs have been met.
Thank you. Biomed.
Hi, my name is Miriam. My pronouns are she, her. My needs have been met.
Thank you very much. Chemistry. Regrets. Data science.
Hey guys, Pranay here. Pronouns he, him. All access needs are met.
Thank you. Earth science. In the chat. Moving on to mathematics. Also in the chat. Thank you very much. Moving on to MBB.
Ariana here, she, her pronouns, all meet that.
Thank you. Move on to DNA. Thank you very much. Move on to Akamisa.
Chris here, he, him pronouns, access needs met. I won't answer to Christopher, so just call me Chris.
Okay. Out on campus.
Hi, my name is Adriana Cumming-Teicher. Pronouns are she, they, access needs met.
Thank you. Soka. Soka counselor.
Did you say SOCO counselor? My name is Mano. All access needs are met. My pronouns are he, him.
Thank you. Women's Center Collective.
Hey everyone, my name is Noor. My pronouns are she, her, and all my access needs are met.
Thank you. SF Perk.
Rebecca here. She's the
Okay, Rebecca, it's kind of hard to hear you. It's okay. We hear you here. Moving on to President. He's gonna be late. Moving on to VP Internal.
My name is Sam Killy. My pronouns are she, him, and all my access needs are met. I am just grabbing some more coffee.
Moving on to VP Finance.
Hi, my name is Simmer. Pronouns are she, her, and all access needs are met.
Thank you. Moving on to VP Universities.
Hi, VP University, all access needs are met. Pronouns are he and him. Be switching over to right after the number.
All right, thank you. Moving on to VP External.
Hi everyone, my name's Joel. I'm the VP External for SFSS. Pronouns he, him. My access needs are met.
Thank you. Moving on to VP Equity.
Hi, I'm Chloe, she, her pronouns, access needs are met.
Thank you. And finally, VP Events. Temporary Operations Organizer. Do we have the Policy Research Affairs Coordinator? No. Do we have the admin assistant?
Hi everyone, I'm Simmer. I'm Gulay Unit. I'm on access needs are met.
Moving on to the consent agenda. Be resolved to adopt the consent agenda by unanimous consent. If you wish to dissent, please speak up now.
Sorry, it says on the list that I'm not here, but I am here. It just says vacant on the agenda.
Could you repeat that, please?
Yeah, sorry. On the agenda it says I'm vacant, but I am here. I'm the political science counselor.
Okay, that might just be because we have it instead from, but we'll make.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
I called my department, but they were able to in the chat, so it's fine. Yep. Yep. Okay, Sam, let's. So. I'm gonna list move an amendment to add the regrets that the SFSS staff have had. I was talking about. Let's just get this. I'm gonna seek unanimous consent to amend the rules to add suspend the rules. Okay, I'm gonna move to suspend the rules to ratify the regrets of the philosophy counselor, the behavioral neuroscience counselor, the cognitive science counselor, the political science counselor, the gender and science counselor, and the science undergraduate society counselor for the June 12th council meeting. University seconds. I'm gonna seek unanimous consent. If you wish to dissent, please speak up now. Seeing no dissent, this is carried. Moving on to the adoption of the agenda. Be resolved to adopt the agenda as presented. Sam? I'm gonna move on to adoption of the agenda. Can I get a mover? Or I'll move. Can I get a seconder, please? Internal seconds. I'm gonna seek unanimous consent. I'm gonna open the floor to discussion. Sorry. Hi, everyone. Today I get the joy of amending on more committee elections, so they will be over when they're over. So join them as fast as you can, so we don't have to spend our meetings doing committee election.
Yes.
Okay.
This is just a reminder for any counselors online as well as in person. If you don't have a committee yet, please try and join one today. You are required to be on at least one. So if you see one, either on the agenda or the ones we amend on that you're interested in, feel free to list and nominate yourself once the committee motion starts.
Oh, I see. I see.
I'm gonna ask Chloe to read them out while I find the rest of them that we need.
Black, Indigenous, and People of Color Committee election, whereas recognizing the imperative need for BIPOC representation and advocacy in the SFSS requires dedicated counselors committed to advancing equity, diversity, and inclusion. Whereas there are 4 seats available, the pasting messed me up. Oh, be it resolved to elect counselors A, B, C, and D to serve on the Black, Indigenous, and People of Color Committee for the council term 2024-2025. The External and Community Affairs Committee election, whereas the External and Community Affairs Committee per Article 8.1 is tasked with coordinating advocacy at federal, provincial, and municipal levels, along with community-focused information campaigns as per Article 8.2. Whereas there are 5 seats available for members of council, be it resolved to elect councilors A, B, C, D, and E to serve on the External and Community Affairs Committee for the council terms 2024 to 2025. Can you scroll?
You put a little bit up.
Yes.
Can I ask a clarifying question as to whether it's an automatic seat on equity and sustainability?
Response on order. Our campus has an automatic seat, but it is not automatic. So it's chosen by the other campus collective. So
Equity and Sustainability Committee election, whereas Article 2.5 to voting an anti-investment, whereas there are resolved to elect Councilor A to serve on the Equity and Sustainability Committee for the council terms of 2024 to 2025. Oh, not yet.
Because we're currently, I believe, doing amendments on.
yeah.
Finance and Administrative Services Committee election, whereas per bylaws 7, 12M, and Articles 5.2 to 5.17 of SFSS Council policies, the Finance and Administrative Services Committee manages the society's financial and administrative affairs, including budgeting, financial reporting, and fund oversight. Whereas there are 1 seat available for members of council, be it resolved to elect Councilor A to serve on the Finance and Administrative Services Committee for council terms of 2024 to 2025. Member Service Advisory Committee election, whereas Article 17.1 of SFSS Council policies, the Member Services and Advisory Committee advises on and coordinates member services, including clubs, student unions, and the food bank, enhancing the overall member experience. Whereas there are 2 seats available for members of council, be it resolved to elect councilors A and B to serve on the Member Services Committee Advisory Committee for the 2024-2025 council term. We are not looking at nominations right now. We are at the adoption of the agenda. This is adding amendments to add more committee elections to the agenda. Could you scroll to the beginning of that big long paragraph, please? Awesome. Members meeting planning committee election. Whereas the members meeting planning committee is responsible for the planning and executive, the annual general meeting executing the annual general meeting of the society as per the Societies Act, SFSS bylaws, and SFSS policies. Whereas there are 4 seats available for members of council, be it resolved to elect A, B, C, and D councilors to serve on the members meeting planning committee for the 2024-2025 council term. And in terms of a point of information for all the councilors present and online, this is what's referred to as a batch of amendments for the agenda. These committee elections will all be held later once we actually start. Surrey Campus Committee election, whereas Articles 14.3 to 14, yes. Okay, just copy this over. Yeah. Recommending, okay, with the terms of reference outline the committee's duties in advising council, recommending actions, and coordinating campus activities, emphasizing its dedication to representing SFU Surrey students, voices, and interests. Whereas there is 1 seat available for members of council, be it resolved to elect Councilor A to serve on the Surrey Campus Committee for the 2024-2025 council term. Vancouver Campus Committee election, whereas the Vancouver Campus Committee currently does not have a chairperson, whereas there are 2 seats. Council
Simmer, do you have a list?
Hello?
Do you have something to amend onto the agenda?
Yeah, I just have a discussion item regarding the budget. I can send that in right now. Sorry, I missed part of it. Did you guys want me to go through the discussion item as well, just right now? Could you type what you're saying in the chat? We can't hear you at all.
We can't hear fully at all.
Can you just type what you guys are saying into the chat?
Here. Huh?
Can you hear me?
Hello,
Hello?
can you hear me?
Yeah, it's better. I was asking, do you want me to go through the full discussion item right now?
No, we're just finishing the last of our amendments and then
Okay,
we'll,
yeah, I just added the amendment into the chat then, the discussion item.
okay, I think we're gonna try and pass them as a batch. Mhm.
If I speak like this, is the audio fine?
Simmer, can you hear Henry if he speaks?
Yeah, I can hear him. I added my discussion item to the chat for you guys.
बिल्कुल बोल नहीं रहा
Oh, Joe?
I would like to amend a motion. Prior to the executive committee to review a statement regarding layoffs, be it resolved that the SFSS council endorses the statement.
Can you please paste the statement in chat?
Hey guys, for everyone online, if I speak up like this, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, it's all good. There's just periods where everyone cuts, but right now you're fine.
I'm pretty sure the mic is just quite sensitive, so if you're not talking directly to the people online and we're talking amongst ourselves, you're not gonna be able to hear anything. It's a
Okay.
noise reduction type thingy-majig.
Okay, no worries. I'll let you guys know if you cut off again.
Okay, thank you so much.
No worries.
Yes.
Can I suggest that, if we cut out the people online, people just like click the raise hand, so you can really obviously immediately tell if we're cutting out.
That's a really good idea. For those of you who maybe didn't hear, if you guys are noticing that the mic is cutting out from the in-person group, can you please raise your hand using the raise hand function so that we can either speak up or repeat what we said? Could I get like a thumbs up from someone? Thank you. You can pass the motion without the document being in chat. It just has to be in chat for reference later. Is that the last of the amendments? This standing. Yeah. Guys, we did so many amendments.
Henry?
I'm going to seek unanimous consent to amend all the motions placed in chat onto the agenda. You wish to dissent, please speak up now or use the raise hand feature in chat. Seeing no dissent, this is carried.
Quick point of order, can you guys hear me? What's on mine?
Yes, we can hear you.
Am I clearer than I was before? When I was at the other meeting?
Could you just speak again, just quickly?
Again, I am speaking again. Can you hear me now?
It's yeah, we can make it out, but it's a little muffled. But like, I'll let you know if it gets worse.
Okay, so thank you.
Can you guys hear me? Is it clear on my end?
Yeah, yeah. When you speak louder, you can hear yourself.
Speak to it. I've been meeting as 5 people, so empty number. You're on. That's in there. Apologies, everybody. Move on to session 9 for business. Equity and Sustainability Committee election. Can I get a mover?
I second.
VP external moves, VP internal seconds. Whereas Article 9.25 to 9.35, the terms of reference highlights the committee's role in recommending policies and resources for student empowerment
equity, diversity, inclusion, and sustainability, promoting an anti-oppressive environment.
Discussion items go before old business or new business.
Thank you, Jeffrey. Things that we have a discussion item on the budget. I'll pass it over to Summer.
Yeah, I'm just gonna share my screen if that's okay. Basically what this discussion item is that especially since the committees haven't had a chance to start yet, and anyone that was interested in FASC hasn't had a chance to really give their ideas or have a look at the budget, I wanted to present it just to council quickly. What I'm about to show is just the third draft of the budget the last council and externals came up with. Just give me 1 second. And yeah, if you guys just want to have a look at that, have any comments, because on the 26th, which is the council meeting coming up after this one, it'll be finalized actually. So the budget will be done by then. So I just want any comments you guys have and just some ideas that I want to share. I'm just pulling it up. Okay, can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
All right. I'm sure a few of you have already seen this before, but I just wanted to run through it for those that haven't had a chance to see it. And yeah, any questions are welcome, any discussion, any ideas you guys can all list. And then I have a second document that I just talked to the finance coordinators last week about. What it is we have amounts that are underspent on the budget, which of course is good for us. That means that our deficit isn't as big as we thought it was in actuality versus budgeted. And that is right here. So our total underspent is around 400K. And so one of the things that I want to do coming into the year is, instead of having, like in some cases, tens of thousands of dollars underspent for certain line items, I'd want to just reduce that budget by a little bit percent. That's reasonable, of course, where we get rid of that buffer. So it saves the money. But also still, if someone does want to use that line item, for example, like large scale events, I know that's something our exec team is planning that hasn't been planned in previous years. So yeah, I just wanted your guys' thoughts on it. I can't see the chat right now, but if you guys would like, I can. 1 second. Yeah, if anyone has any discussion items, they can just unmute and list. Or if you guys want to see a certain aspect of the budget more clearly. Sorry, you're actually cutting out. Could you get closer to the mic by any chance?
Can you send the document to our emails?
Yeah, I can send you guys. I just want to confirm that this. 1 second. Yeah, I can send that out to your emails for anyone that wants to look at it. I know that I talked to a few counselors that just wanted to have general comments or general ideas. And because FASC hasn't started yet, if there's anything more urgent that you guys want to bring up before the committee starts, because I will be starting on that budget soon, just making those finalizations because it's due in 2 weeks, let me know. You guys can send me an email just in case we're still working on that committee meeting coming up.
Send to us a direct response. Go ahead.
Yeah, the budget should actually already be in everyone's inbox from the last term, so everyone should have a copy of this already. Okay. In that case, you can consent it again.
Could you listen?
So Mark, could I just maybe suggest that we receive also alongside the budget in our emails, maybe a brief like a little summary of expected changes or your thoughts on the budget, just like in English language, not like something to make it more accessible for people who aren't super interested in finance or numbers, not to name names, but like me. How do we feel about that?
Yeah, sounds good. I also do want to emphasize that second budget that I showed, just regarding the underspent. And if you guys feel that there's something that you personally think after being in council the last couple of years for some of you that have continued to constantly, we haven't really reached for, let me know as well. I do want to take people's opinions on this before I do finalize because that date is coming up. So I will send these two out. And yeah, just in case if you're not able to make it to the FAST committee meetings or in case that it's getting too late for FAST to start, I just wanted to put that out there. Yeah, but that's it for me. If no one has any more lists, I can send it out at the end of this council meeting.
Thanks, Emma.
So the full discussion is happening right now, right?
Correct.
Okay. I guess my one question, I guess this would be important to touch was, here is in terms of like chronically underspent line items, events has often been one, especially in the past year. So I'd be curious to hear what our thoughts on like rebalancing around events would be. Other than that, I don't know any particular notes.
I can join this next part. Events has kind of a different luxury because sometimes they fund themselves through their own ticket sales and things like that. Chitraj does have plans for some of that unspent money to reallocate that towards first year engagement, because that is not necessarily an underspent area, but like an underused committee in general. So there are ideas there, and I think something has been.
Yeah. Sorry, could I just direct response to Chloe?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to also go with that and say that in previous years we haven't done certain things as well. For example, like the fall frosh that used to happen. I know our team has ideas for that. So, but those are questions that are welcome. Like if you are wondering why something's severely underspent or why something needs to or does not need to change, let me know. I also want to reply to Aiden in the comments. In the chat, as he mentioned to put a motion to increase the monthly wage. Stuff like that, like of course is welcome, but there's a direct response, I think.
Yeah, he's referring to, I believe, the counselor stipend. Those can only be increased through
referendums, I think.
And that motion, if passed, would not take effect until next year. So we can definitely put that in place if that's something you're interested in. I would talk to the AGM committee. I forget what that thing's called. But you can get that started for sure. I won't be here, but if you are, it's good. I think we should wrap the discussion up if we're.
Cindy, comment.
Oh, sorry, Simon.
No, that's okay. Just general towards the budget, I think Mark kind of addressed this earlier, but when we're saying underspent, it doesn't mean that we made money. It just means that from the projected deficit, it's passed. So, for example, if we thought we were going to be in a $1 million deficit, we're in a $100K deficit.
Sorry, we're just having a little trouble hearing Sindhu online.
It's all good. She's just re-emphasizing things you said.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I didn't hear that either, but it's all right.
I'm gonna bring the chart. What? Did mean? I have no idea. It sounds like a road.
So these are examples of primary healthcare services, and like emergency room, pharmacy,
It sounds like a zoom in more to that.
I mean, double check. No, it wasn't. It was still.
Again, yeah, just to clarify, the budget is gonna come to council again in 2 weeks. That's actually where Simmer, she has to give a more of a formal presentation and let you guys know things that will be changing, because that's where the budget needs to actually be approved. So if you do have any questions regarding the budget, next meeting is the place for that. But in the meantime, hopefully you could take the next 2 weeks to look at the budget. As requested, Simon will probably send that out so you have a copy. But I think I don't see anything else with this discussion item, so I move back to you, and I believe we can move on.
Yep. Oh, should I for this part? Moving on to old business, 9.1 Equity Sustainability Committee election. I moved that nobody, I asked that nobody moves or seconds, because this election will come later during the meeting with more clarification. Seeing no mover, seeing no seconder, I'm gonna move on to 9.2. HR and personnel subcommittee election. Can I get a mover? Internal moves. Can I get a seconder? Equity seconds. Whereas the executive committee shall maintain the HR and personnel subcommittee as a standing subcommittee of the executive committee. This committee shall act as the labor committee for the purposes outlined in the collective agreement. Whereas there's one seat, whereas there's one seat available for members of council, be resolved to elect Councillor A to serve on the HR and personnel subcommittee for the 2024-2025 council term. I'm going to open the floor for lists. The floor is open to any nominations.
I'm gonna nominate, yeah.
Adjournment, do you accept?
I do.
Adjournment accepts. VP external. Retracts. I'm gonna move on to the second call for nominations. We'll move on to a third and final call. Seeing no more nominations, be it resolved to elect OOC Councillor to serve on the HR and Personnel Subcommittee for the 2025 term. I'm going to seek unanimous consent. Yes.
We need to amend the existing motion to replace A with OFC Council Janet from Tesher. Then we go to the unanimous consent. So I will move to amend the motion.
President seconds.
President seconds. We'll seek unanimous consent on the amendment. If you wish to dissent, please speak up now. Seeing no dissent, please amend Councillor A to say OOC Councillor. Be it resolved to elect OOC Councillor to serve on the HR and Personnel Subcommittee for the 2024-2025 council term. I'm going to seek unanimous consent. If you wish to dissent, please speak up now. Seeing no dissent, OOC Councillor will now serve in the HR and Personnel Committee for the 2024-25 council term. Seeing there's no old business, no more old business, going to move on to new business. Black Indigenous and People of Color Committee election. Whereas recognizing the imperative need for BIPOC representation and advocacy in the SFSS requires dedicated councillors committed to advancing equity, diversity, and inclusion. Whereas there are 4 seats available from members of council, be resolved to elect councillors A, B, C, and D to serve on the Black, Indigenous, and People of Color for the council terms of 2024 to 2025. I move. Can I get seconder? Internal seconds. I'm going to open the floor to any lists and nominations.
I assume that FNVISA has an automatic seat.
You have an automatic seat for anybody within NISA, which you guys would like select or nominate. I don't know if the council.
The counselor isn't automatically on it. It's a representative chosen by FNVISA. That's automatic.
So you can still nominate yourself and someone else from FNVISA can be on the council.
Do you think FNVISA is going to nominate you?
Yes.
Okay. Then
I will be nominated
Okay,
for all
then-
business to do with SFSS.
okay, then don't want.
Yeah.
I'm gonna seek a second call for nominations. Oh.
Given there's 2,000 nominations, I will self-nominate myself.
Awesome.
Sometimes you just type it in chat so that all of the CG counselors understand it. Just for clarification that we will first.
Yes, Emmanuel, you kind of nominate yourself.
Oh, that's counts.
Self-nominate. Self-nominate. Good. Questions? Soka, are you asking, do you still need to nominate or are you self-nominating?
I'm self-nominating.
Self-nominate? Okay, so
Yeah.
C-H-O. Sindhu, can you please check if HRA have the forms?
RHA.
RHA?
They do?
They do, okay, so.
I nominate myself.
I'm gonna move on to the third and final call. Seeing no more nominations, I'm gonna move to amend councilors A, B, and C, and D to say be it resolved to elect councilor Soka, RHA, and archaeology to serve on the Black, Indigenous, and people of color for the council terms of 2024-2025. I move. Can I get a seconder? I'm gonna seek unanimous consent. If you wish to dissent, please speak up now. Seeing no dissent, this is amended. Be it resolved to elect councilors O, C, Soka, RHA, and ARC to serve on the Black, Indigenous, and people of colors for the council terms of 2024-2025. I move. Can I get a seconder? Internal seconds. I'm going to seek unanimous consent. If you wish to dissent, please speak up now. Seeing no dissent, this motion is carried. Moving on to External and Community Affairs Committee election, whereas the External and Community Affairs Committee per Article 8.1 is tasked with coordinating advocacy at federal, provincial, and municipal levels, along with community-focused information campaigns as per Article 8.2. Whereas there are 5 seats available for members of council, they resolve to elect councilors A, B, C, D, and E to serve on the External and Community Affairs Committee for the council terms of 2024-2025. I move. Can I get a seconder? Internal seconds. I'm going to open the floor to any nominations and lists. Sam?
I nominate myself.
Yes. VP internal self-nominates. Yep. VP external.
I'd like to nominate FNVISA counselor and campus counselor.
FMISA counselor, do you accept? FMISA accept. On campus? Also accepts. Map. Okay, map. Self-nominates. I'm gonna move to a second call for nominations. I'm gonna move on to a third and final call. LSU. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, thanks, let's take it.
This is a suggestion, because I think the others as well. When we have an announcement, we've reached the minimum non-calling a vote amount of counselors for committee election. Or maximum.
We just retried, yeah.
Yeah, I know. Can we have it announced for the committee elections? Like when we reach the amount of seats for nominations.
Sorry, say that again.
Like an exact.
Yes. Nominators.
Seeing no more nominations.
Retracted.
Okay. I'd like to amend, the be resolved, counters, replace counters A, B, C, and D, and E, to say VP Equity, FMISA, OC, Mathematics, and LSU. Councilors, I move, can I get a second there?
Wasn't it VP internal, not VP equity?
Yes.
I'm sorry, VP Internal. Thank you. I move, can I get a second there? President seconds, I'm gonna seek unanimous consent. If you wish to dissent, please speak up now. Seeing no dissent, be resolved to elect VP Internal, FMISA, OC, Mathematics, and Linguistic Student Union to serve on the External and Community Affairs Committee for the council terms of 2024 to 2025. I move, can I get a second there?
I'll second.
Equity seconds, I'm gonna seek unanimous consent. If you wish to dissent, please speak up now. Seeing no dissent, this motion is carried. Moving on to the Equity and Sustainability Committee election, whereas Article 9.25 to 9.35 of the terms of reference highlight the committee's role in recommending policies and resources for student empowerment, equity, diversity, inclusion, sustainability, and promoting. I'm sorry, I didn't see the mover second there. Equity and Sustainability Committee election, I move, can I get a second there? Equity seconds. Whereas Article 9.25 to 9.35 of the terms of reference highlight the committee's role in recommending policies and resources for student empowerment, equity, diversity, inclusion, and sustainability, and promoting an anti-oppressive environment with community events and advocacy. Whereas there is one seat available for members of council, we resolve to elect councilors A to serve on the Equity and Sustainability Committee for the council terms of 2024 to 2025. I move, can I get a second there? Equity seconds. I'm gonna open the floor to any nominations.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is there any automatic seats for this? I get emails about this committee already, so.
So which one are you answering?
We're on equity, equity.
That would probably because,
Previous counselor, Sienna was probably, okay, okay.
But if you're going to.
Oh, no, I'm not gonna know. Deal with.
I'll stop nominating.
Okay.
As the perks of nominates. Yeah, Jana.
Point of, or a question. Doesn't at least out on campus have a seat in the men that we discussed at the MISA and so can bring seats on platform on equity?
Oh. So.
Yes, they do. In the same way that we discussed with BIPOC, they do have a seat on equity. In addition to that, a representative from a group representing climate justice issues and a representative from a independent student society on campus representing social justice issues, i.e. SFPERG, have seats. So if the councilors from those groups want to also nominate for the remaining one seat available on equity and sustainability, they can, or they can just lobby their groups to take that representative spot.
BP University self-nominates, BPK self-nominates, and Health Science self-nominates, along with ISSA and SF PERG.
So maybe we're gonna,
Dean as well.
did somebody retract there?
This is-
No, self-nominate, okay.
Wait.
Direct response. So I'm reading the policies now, and it's up to one representative from a group representing social justice issues. And SFPERG is pretty much the only group that represents social justice issues. So, yeah, SFPERG basically automatically has a seat. But they get to choose that and not us.
No.
Health Science retracts their self-nomination.
As a point of clarification for both Susu and SFPERG, we're gonna, if you want to run, we're gonna have an election regardless, because the amount of people that are self-nominating, if you want to be a part of it. Retracting won't make elections not happen. And SFPERG is guaranteed a seat from its membership, but the SFPERG counselor can also hold a seat in addition to the SFPERG membership seat. So SFPERG can theoretically have 2 seats if the counselor is to be elected.
That goes for all of the CGs that we've been talking about so far.
But I would not advise that in this context, since there's already would be an election. I say SFPERG sticks with the spot.
I haven't, okay. I'm gonna move on to a second call for nominations. Moving on to a third and final call. Retract? I say,
Actually, how many are we?
we're at, okay, what's the retraction? There's only one seat.
Anthea, do you wanna, I think you should retract, if Danny gets a seat. You get a seat. So you don't have to. Yeah. You don't have to.
Okay, as of right now, there is going to be an election because there are 2 people running for 1 spot. This includes the BPK counselor and the VP University. So there's going to be a final call for nominations. If anybody would like to retract so that we don't have to hold an election, that is also a possibility. And yes.
It's okay, sir.
This is for equity, right?
Yes.
Is
Rachel already on it?
Already on and so is
I know, but we saved 1 spot for somebody who wanted one. Would you like to run?
I'm already comfortable. There's no one really from out on campus aside from me who would take the out on campus.
Iago, would you like to run? Would you like to have the only seat?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'll nominate Iago.
Tiago, do you accept? I do. ISSA, Council accepts. Thank you. I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna amend to replace Counselor A with ISSA Counselor. I'm gonna move. Can I get a second there? Internal seconds. I'm gonna seek unanimous consent. If you wish to dissent, please speak up now. Seeing no dissent, be it resolved to elect ISSA Counselor to serve on the Equity and Sustainability Committee for the council term of 2024 to 2025. I move. Can I get a second there? Equity seconds. I'm going to seek unanimous consent. If you wish to dissent, please speak up now. Seeing no dissent, this motion is carried. Moving on to the Finance and Administration Services Committee election. I move. Can I get a second there? Internal seconds. Whereas per bylaw 712M and articles 5.2 to 5.17 of the SFSS council policies, the Finance and Administrative Services Committee manages the society's financial and administrative affairs, including budgeting, financial reporting, and fund oversight. Whereas there is 1 seat available for members of council, be resolved to elect Councilor A to serve on the Finance and Administrative Service Committee for the council terms of 2024 to 2025. I'm going to open the floor to any nominations. Mathematics self-nominates.
I'm nominating geography.
Geography self-nominates. One.
I believe the last few times we nominated Meha, but I'm not sure if she has already gotten a spot.
She's already on.
I want to confirm that she's already on it.
Yes.
Okay, sounds good.
Point of order, the counselors who are currently on the committee are automatically finance, internal. And then we have the VP external, the business administration, and the earth science council.
Yes. Yep, we're, gonna nominate.
Arjuna, do you accept?
I do accept this.
Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna go through a second call of nominations. Mathematics retracts somehow. Moving on to a third and final call for the finance. Susu, no, and geography.
Oh, and geography.
We're on to the third and final call for the finance committee. All right, seeing no more nominations, we're gonna move to an election. So right now is geography, out on campus, and health science. We're gonna do a roll call vote. I'm sorry. Out on campus, geography, and health science. All you have 1 minute to maybe speak about why you want to join this community and why you think that you'd be the perfect fit. Yeah. We'll start with Adriana. Your time starts now.
Okay, sound check. Everybody can hear me fine? Great. I have extensive experience on council. I've been involved with the SFSS in various capacities since 2021. In my capacity within my work with constituency groups, I have balanced the budgets and managed the finances of both out on campus and the Disability and Neurodivergency Alliance for the better part of 3 years. Additionally, with previous executives, I've had time consulting about their financial plans and their budgets. Finally, I'm currently Emmanuel's associate president, like his assistant basically, and in my capacity as assisting Emmanuel, being able to have a wide overview of our finances and be a meaningful voice in discussions around the budget would better enable me to help Emmanuel in doing the work of the presidential office. It's my full time. I see the rest.
Yeah. Thank you. Geography, you have, sorry.
I retract.
Retract?
I retract my nomination.
Okay. Yeah, okay, I just pressed here. Yeah. Health science, your wait, health science list.
Yep. Hi. I just wanted to ask, how many positions are there for the council members for this committee?
1.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I also retract.
Okay. Okay. Sick.
Yeah, my speech is so good.
Yourself up a little bit for no reason.
I'm gonna amend to replace Counselor A with OOC Counselor. I'm gonna move and get a second there. VP external seconds. I'm gonna seek unanimous consent. If you wish to dissent, please speak up now. Seeing no dissent, this is amended. Be resolved to elect Counselor. Be resolved to elect OOC Counselor to serve on the Finance and Administrative Services Committee for the council terms of 2024 to 2025. I move. Can I get a second there? Internal seconds. I'm gonna seek unanimous consent. If you wish to dissent, please speak up now. Seeing no dissent, this motion is carried. Moving to the Member Services Advisory Committee election, I move. Can I get a second there? Internal seconds. Whereas per Article 17.1 of the SFSS Council Policies, the Member Services Advisory Committee advises on and coordinates society member services, including clubs, student unions, and the food bank, enhancing the overall member experiences. Whereas there are 2 seats available for members of council, we resolve to elect councilors A and B to serve on the Member Services Advisory Committee for the 2024-2025 council term. I'm going to open the floor to any nominations.
I'm going to nominate ISSU.
ISSU, do you accept the nomination? ISSU? Health science, Liz?
Yeah, okay, I wanted to ask, sorry, I didn't listen to the announcement. How many positions are for this committee exactly?
2.
Okay, yeah, I would like to self-nominate.
Health science, don't just say Evan really loud.
Evan, you there?
Oh, yeah, Evan's here. Let's self-nominate linguistics. Evan, ISSU, do you accept the nomination?
I'm straight.
All right, I'm just gonna move on. I'm gonna move on to the second round of, I'm gonna call it the second round of nominations. I'm just gonna move to a third and final call. Seeing no other nominations, I'm gonna amend to replace Councilors A and B with Health Science and Linguistics Student Union. I move, can you get a second there? Internal seconds. I'm gonna seek unanimous consent. If you wish to dissent, please speak up now.
What?
No, because he didn't respond,
He didn't,
which is,
okay.
he didn't
He
accept it,
distracted.
so unfortunately, he just missed his
That's fine.
opportunity. If you would like to nominate yourself for a different committee, Evan, we are so sorry, but you can.
Seeing no dissent, this is amended. Be resolved to elect Health Science Counselor and Linguistic Student Student Union Counselor to serve on the Member Services Advisory Committee for the 2024-2025 council term. I move, can I get a second there? Internal seconds. I'm gonna seek unanimous consent. If there's no dissent, please speak up now. Seeing no dissent, this is carried. Moving on to members meeting planning committee election. I move, can I get a second there? VP internal seconds. Whereas the members meeting planning committee is responsible for planning and executive the annual general meeting of the executing the annual general meeting of the society as per the Societies Act, SFSS bylaws, and the SFSS policies. Whereas there's 4 seats available for members of council, be resolved to elect councilors A, B, C, and D to serve on the members meeting planning committee for the 2024-2025 council term. I'm going to open the floor to any nominations.
Yes.
So,
I'd like to nominate the Business Administration Student Society Counselor.
Vice Councilor, do you accept?
Meha, did you hear that you were nominated?
I'm not sure if she was present today. She hadn't replied when we were doing attendance.
Sorry, could I just get a point of information? Cindy, did you see the SF message? Would you be able to answer that?
Yes, but they would have to be.
Okay. Continue.
Yep.
I'd like to nominate the ISSA counselor for this committee.
ISSA Councilor, do you accept?
This is the members meeting planning, so we plan our AGMs and any other members meetings, such as a special general meeting, if we were to call them. This is a very important, especially this year. So, and it's only like a 3-month commitment.
ISSA, do you accept? Yes, I do. Okay. ISSA. Duncan,
I'll self-nominate.
self-nominate.
Where are we at in terms of seats?
There's 4 seats, so right now we have 2 more left. So there's ISSA and there's geography.
I will self-nominate if we reach 3 more nominations that were attractive.
Yeah.
List. For this committee I chair, I appointed the business council as my AVP as they have experience that would help for this committee. I'm gonna ask that we leave one spot vacant to appoint at the business council at the next council meeting. I
Just not taking, so.
truly not
You're
doing-
just asking council, it's not to be a motion, it's just, you're asking a favor.
Yeah.
And if there's any dissent around that, then you can speak up in chat, but if we are kind enough to let Sam have his AVP on that committee and nobody else wants that seat, then we can just leave that spot open and move it to another meeting.
I'm gonna
Just so
move
one spot.
to, yes. I will move on to a second call of nomination. What committee can you well? Evan, right now we're on the members meeting planning committee. Would you like to self-nominate? Okay, I see you as well.
We have committees pasted in the chat when we're doing the amendments. When we're doing the elections, we have them repasted for those elections.
Like this. I can't even see.
Yeah, we'll try. Sorry, we'll just, one of us will figure that out. Evan, can I just get a point of clarification? Are you nominating yourself, or are you just saying okay to the fact that we're doing this committee? Okay, cool. So we have 3 nominations. We're leaving 1 seat open. Was that the final call?
We'll move on to a third and final call. Seeing no more nominations, I'm going to move to amend councilors to replace councilors A, B, and C with ISSA, geography, and ISSU. I move
Well,
to
sorry, it was OC, not ISSU. ISSU didn't self-nominate.
Yep. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm gonna replace that with geography, ISSA, and OOC. I move to get a secondary.
I'll second.
Equity seconds. I'm gonna seek unanimous consent. If you wish to dissent, please speak up now. Seeing no dissent, be resolved to elect ISSA, geography, and OOC counselor to serve on the members meeting planning committee for the 2024-2025 council term. I'm going to seek unanimous consent. Seeing no dissent, this motion is carried. The Surrey campus committee election, I move. Can you get a seconder? Internal seconds. Whereas articles 14.3 to 14.13 of the terms of reference outline the committee's duties and advising council, recommending actions, and coordinating campus activities, emphasizing its dedication to representing SFU Surrey students' voices and interests. Whereas there is 2 seats available for members of council, be resolved to elect councilors A and B to serve on the Surrey campus committee for the 2024-2025 council term. I'm going to open the floor to nominations. Guys, it's a really good committee, like, trust, like, Surrey is really nice, please. Okay, mathematics self-nominates. There's still 1 seat left. I'm gonna move on to a second call of nomination. Steph?
The other option is I reopen what has been a traditional method of getting councils onto committees, which is a large spinning wheel, and I start calling people at random.
We're gonna start doing hostile nominations. Yeah,
Just a general question. Does anyone in this room regularly take votes from classes in Surrey? Raise your hand.
Point of order, I read that it was 2 seats available, but there's only 1 seat available for this committee, for the Surrey Campus Committee. My apologies. I'm going to move to a third call, final call of nominations. Seeing none, I'd like to move to amend to replace Counselor A with Mathematics Counselor. Can I get a seconder? Internal seconds. I'm going to seek unanimous consent. If you wish to dissent, please speak up now. Seeing no dissent, be it resolved to elect Mathematics Counselor to serve on the Surrey Campus Committee for the 2024-2025 council term. I'm going to seek unanimous consent. Seeing no dissent, this motion is carried. Just final. Yeah, final. Yeah, no, this one. Thank you. Move on to the Vancouver Campus Committee. I move. Can I get a second there?
Second.
Yeah. FMISA second. Whereas the Vancouver Campus Committee currently does not have a chairperson, whereas there is 2 seats available for members of council. Be it resolved to elect councilors A and B to serve on the Vancouver Campus Committee for the 2024-2025 council term. I'm going to open the floor to nominations.
Nominate ISSU.
ISSU, do you accept the nomination?
Yes, yes.
Yes, thank you, thank you. DNA? No, okay, DNA. We have reached the minimum amount of seats needed for this committee. If you still would like to nominate yourself, please go ahead. I'm gonna move to the second call of nomination. We'll move to the third and final call. Seeing no more nominations, I'm gonna move to amend to replace councilors A and B with DNA and ISSA counselor. I move. Can I get a second there?
SSU. Sorry, there's SSU.
Yeah. I'm gonna I'm gonna move to amend to replace councilors A and B with DNA and ISSU counselor. Can I get a seconder, please?
I'll second.
Equity seconds. I'm going to seek unanimous consent. If you wish to dissent, please speak up now. Seeing no dissent, be it resolved to elect ISSU and DNA counselors to serve on the Vancouver Campus Committee for the 2024-2025 council term. I move. Can I get a seconder? Equity seconds. I'm going to seek unanimous consent. Seeing no dissent, this motion is carried. I'm going to ask council. I'm going to declare that we take a 5-minute break. We'll come back at 7:27. You guys, we're gonna be restarting. You back? Okay, we're back. Just to make sure, can everybody hear me online?
Yeah, you're all good.
You. Move on to layoff statement. I move, can I get a second there? Who's that? External second. Whereas the executive committee reviewed a statement regarding layoffs, we resolved that the SFSS council endorsed the statement. I'm gonna pass it over to Joel.
We'll see.
This, I believe, if stated incorrectly, this statement and would not theoretically include any HIPAA breaking information because all the information obtained in a statement was obtained from public information released. And the statement will be released quickly. So if we discuss a public statement in camera, it would just be the purpose of the statement. I'm not sure.
The worst of the foundation is that influence the statement, but none of the information in there is.
There's no information on any individuals or specific.
Yeah.
Right, we have a list or
A list.
okay. Joel has the first list.
Go ahead, proceed. Proceed, you have the floor.
Okay. SFSS is looking to put out a statement on the recent layoffs that happened in the very recent cycle. We've had staff reductions happening ever since there was a hiring freeze last fall. We've noticed the impact, our staff have noticed the impact at SFSS. There's an increased burden on students looking for services. They're trying every single avenue. They're going to their instructors, they're going to SFSS constituency group staff who are not equipped to deal with these issues. There are issues that could be mental health, it could be academic advising, and the layoffs have affected everybody from co-op advisors to admin staff to contract workers. And it is essential that student society stand in solidarity with the wider SFU community. And it is important that SFU knows that students are being impacted negatively by these layoffs that are mostly targeted at lower level organizational staff versus higher level managerial staff, while the bonuses keep increasing for executives within SFU. I would like everybody to review the PDF that was put in the chat earlier and read over this statement if possible.
Question, is this contract between SFU and SFSS staff?
No, this is between SFU and SFU students.
SFU laying off SFU staff and contract workers that are not technically covered. Yes.
Yeah. My list was I have two thoughts. One thought then. There was a discussion I heard of whether or not the public statement should be at all in camera or at all not. My suggestion that you can take or leave would be to have an X camera section of discussion and an in camera section of discussion on as well. That would be my personal recommendation.
For based on which in camera rules, like which section would be
The proposal would be less about any specific section of the public statement, which I think should be discussed ex camera. But in order to provide counselors with broader context and details that might be absent but informing aspects of the statement.
Noted.
Sam, direct response.
So that'd be under HIPAA obligation.
That would be the proposal.
It's a suggestion to be, sorry. Yeah, thanks. I believe what the out on campus counselor is suggesting is when you're discussing something that could potentially be adjacent to HIPAA information, if counselors have questions that would then reveal information, even if it's not included in the statement, then we could answer them. So if there's like clarifying questions or discussion that moves into that territory, we would discuss that in camera first and then discuss the broader statement and whether we want to release it ex camera. And I think that's a very fair suggestion for next time. But if we are thinking that things are going to touch HIPAA or violate some kind of in-camera, ex-camera rules, we will just cut that discussion off. I don't think there's going to be any sort of.
Sam, direct response.
Yes, so my next question is, on campus counselor, do you have any information that you think could be discussed in general? Need to be discussed that you would like to provide to this conversation?
Potentially, yes, but if that discussion is unwanted, I don't think it is essential to the conversation.
Do you have any thoughts on the document?
I will. We're going to talk about it. But I will refrain from anything that would have needed to be.
So what's yours?
I would like to read the statement out with everyone so everybody has a chance if they don't have it in front of them. Quick question, can everybody on the call hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, lovely, perfect. SFSS statement on the recent layoffs at SFU. Dear SFU community, as representatives of undergraduate student body at Simon Fraser University, the Simon Fraser Student Society is deeply troubled by the ongoing reduction in SFU staff, and particularly the recent layoffs impacting nearly 100 employees, including instructors, admin staff, custodial workers all across the 3 campuses. We stand in solidarity with those affected and recognize the profound impact this decision has on them, their families, students, and the entire SFU community. We call on the SFU administration to provide greater transparency regarding the decision-making process that led to these layoffs. The lack of consultation with key stakeholders, including students, is unacceptable. We demand a clear and detailed explanation of the criteria used for these decisions and how they align with university's long-term strategic goals. These layoffs are not just numbers on a balance sheet, they represent a significant erosion of the support structures that enhance our learning environment. The reduction in essential services such as academic advising, co-op support, and health and counseling services directly undermines the quality of education and support that SFU has a duty to provide. Temporary adjustments in operational needs should not lead to permanent job losses, especially when they result in loss of institutional knowledge and capacity that takes years to build. The decision to eliminate these positions is a short-sighted approach that fails to consider the long-term morale and institutional capacity of our university. The impact of these layoffs will be fully felt in fall, potentially straining our academic and support systems further. We emphasize that it is university's responsibility and not the student societies to ensure the provision of critical services that support our academic journey. While the SFSS is committed to supporting students, these measures are stopgaps and do not replace the comprehensive support that the university must provide. SFU has a responsibility to its community, not only as an educational institution, but also as a cultural and economic center in British Columbia. The university's role in supporting programs across the province and fostering a vibrant campus culture must be preserved. Cutting positions in programs such as Woodward's cultural programs, English language culture program, and interpretation and translation program significantly diminishes SFU's ability to fulfill this goal. We urge the SFU administration to explore alternative solutions that do not compromise the quality of education and support services. Investing in student life, community engagement, and academic expression is essential to improving both domestic and international student enrollment. We also call for better management of program endowments to ensure financial stability and continuity of valuable programs. The SFSS is calling on provincial government and SFU to collaborate and reassess the situation in order to protect students, workers, and the entire SFU community by securing more funding and support for post-secondary institutions to ensure essential staff, services, and programs are not cut due to budgetary pressures. Developing a strategic plan to increase enrollment and revenue through new academic programs and partnerships. Enhancing fundraising efforts and alumni engagement to create new revenue streams specifically earmarked for maintaining and improving student services. Introducing a temporary freeze on non-essential hiring and bonuses for top administrators until financial stability is restored. Strengthening mental health and wellness support by reallocating resources to ensure that students have adequate access to these essential services during this transitional period. The SFSS remains committed to advocating for the interests of our students and holding the university accountable for decisions that impact our learning environment. We will continue to push for transparency, accountability, and a commitment to preserving the highest quality of education and support at SFU. Together, we can work together towards a stronger, more resilient university that truly serves the community. In solidarity, Simon Fraser Student Society. Again.
First of all, I want to give credit to our VP External and the broader executive collective for an excellent letter. I think that rhetorically hits every point and every tone that we need to for this letter. My only question, I suppose, I'm immediately kind of telling you to push what I said about potentially not mentioning anything. My question is around the number at the very beginning, in terms of what we're saying with the amount of staff fired, because it's a really difficult number. Because my understanding, if I remember right, is that it was around 80 staff publicly mentioned by the university, 24 custodial workers, and then an estimated, can I say this number?
I think we should go ahead and camera up with this discussion now.
Point of order.
Yeah.
We're straying into in-camera territory.
Then I will.
I'm gonna motion to move the in-cam.
Sorry, can I just get a point of information? This isn't our staff, so does it?
Yes.
Regardless, we're going to speak to public information.
Can I have a direct response, please?
Evan has a point of order.
It's actually a point of information. I'm just wondering if are these numbers not public? Like at that point, could we talk about it, or they're not public?
Specifically, what I'm referencing, without offering any particular details, SFU has provided a public figure. According to internal staff unions within the university, that number is not necessarily representative of the truth.
Yeah. I would just say that while I understand the number is real people, and that is a really big difference, 20 people versus like 24 extra people versus the number that we put there. I think that going based off of the information that Joel was able to find publicly, that SFU has released, the sentiment of the statement remains the same. So I understand that, to these people, it's really impactful, the extra, 10 or 20, but I think that this happened a little while ago. We want to stand and in solidarity with the staff and people laid off and the students impacted now. So while we could go in camera to discuss the most accurate number, I don't think that changes what we're trying to do here. And I think that this is good enough.
Point of order.
Yeah. Can I provide a reference?
Joel also does a response.
Okay. So the number 100 only refers to the most recent round of layoffs, but the statement makes a mention to the ongoing reduction in staff that has happened starting the fall term due to the hiring freeze, and also the cutting of departments in March, which is what I'm assuming you're also referring to. No, that's just the athletics department. Yeah. So there have been budget cuts ongoing. We're only referring to the most recent one because that is when the statement is situated in point in time.
This is a very kind of question. Does in this recent round of layoffs, does the public number technically crack 100, or is it slightly beneath 100?
We can't answer that.
Fair.
Yeah, sure, let's go. At this point, yeah.
Yes, so.
We're-
We've been dancing around in camera information. I need to go in camera.
I'll second.
I'm going to seek unanimous consent to enter in cam. If you wish to dissent, please speak up now. Seeing no dissent, we're going to enter in camera. Motion 12, X camera. Be resolved to go X camera for the remainder of the meeting. I move and get a secondary. OOC seconds. I'm going to seek unanimous consent. If you wish to dissent, please speak up now. Seeing no dissent, we're going to remain X camera for the remainder of the meeting.
Wait, Joe, you don't have the motion? Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Was there a motion or a discussion?
I'll scroll up on the chat. Layoff statement, whereas the executive committee reviewed a statement regarding layoffs, please resolve that the SFSS endorse the statement. I move, can I get a seconder? BP equity seconds, we're going to seek unanimous consent. If you wish to dissent, please. Yep, maybe internal.
On this motion, can I ask you to go back, because in the initial writing this motion, there was a typo made by myself, and I'd like the chance to go back and amend it to correctly spell endorse, as I typed in an I instead of an E.
Additionally,
Mr. Chair, can we go back?
Say yes. I think this is not. Or you just, or maybe you don't want to dissent because you're still carrying.
Can we go back?
I think you could just strike it off. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Let's see if the person who moved it, Joel, and we changed the I to me.
Ours.
Okay, I'm going to seek unanimous consent. If you wish to dissent, please speak up now. Seeing no dissent, this motion is carried.
Was that for the motion or for the amendment?
That was for the
Oh, that's for the amendment, sorry.
Friendly amendments still be done.
They don't, that's all.
So it's just.
Yeah, I guess that would count for them, because you don't need to move for the amendment. No,
Are we almost done?
no, because we'll be done by 8:30. That was it. Just move on to,
30-minute Q&A. Does anyone have anything? Any last burning questions, concerns?
Yes.
Internal?
At the end of last meeting, I asked for feedback on the in-person meeting. I want to ask for it again, but I will also start this off by saying, don't say things about technical difficulties, because I already know them, and it is my goal over the next 2 weeks that I will be working to make sure we don't have these technical difficulties next time.
SSU?
Is the plan still to go fully in person in September?
Yes, that is the plan as of now.
I had some concerns about that because I know you guys said that you would offer people with accessibility issues like the option to join virtually, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so my main concern with that, I don't think people have thought through, is that by having the option for people with accessibility issues to join virtually, you're outing people with accessibility issues to the entire council, because they'll know that if you're joining on Zoom that you have an accessibility issue. So I don't know if there's a way around that or what.
I also have had concerns regarding the approval process for accessibility concerns. If that process is not laid out very, very carefully, it basically means that it's up to the chair of the meeting to decide what constitutes an accessibility concern, and I don't necessarily feel like that's fair. Because the intention, I believe, was that the president would approve.
We could address that, but I don't think that was what the question was. The question was speaking to the fact that individuals that remain online, that means we're disclosing that they do have a disability.
Yeah, I didn't have, that wasn't a direct response. That was I was also listing. I think Evan's concern is fair.
Well, I have a direct response to that.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, but again, there will also be, again, individuals that would be online that might not be due to disability needs. So there's still grounds for some counselors to be online, which we will be outlining once that time comes. But there could be like, you know, an exam or something like that that a counselor might be online for. So it won't be every counselor you see online that's necessarily there because of disability. Yeah.
You've been through the direct response.
I think no direct response to just. So one of the proposed systems we've been thinking about for this was to make being online the same as regrets, that you'd have to submit it to the chair 2 hours in advance, and that it wouldn't be something that usually would be contested, as regrets aren't normally contested. It would give the option still for the chair to do that, which given the circumstance of the SFSS, would give us the option in the case that we have like a counselor who is going out to a social, for example, and wants to join online in that case, to not accept them being online in that case as they're going out to a social event, as instead of coming to work, as I know happened last year. And while still allowing people who need to be online, whether or not it's for accessibility reasons or they're out of province, for example.
I just give direct response.
Yeah, I just I would really caution you guys to be careful with the way you do this. Council's been virtual for a while. I think the hybrid method works, and I don't see much reason in not continuing with it. And if you do it wrong, you are opening yourself up to issues related to like human rights violations. So I would just really caution you guys with the way you approach this. I know that we're looking to make friendly improvements, but I think there's a good middle ground to stuff. And that's all I have to say.
The university direct response, and I'm going to cut off direct responses, then it's going to go to OOC counselor, then it's going to go to DNA.
Yep, I just wanted to state that the only reason council went to online was because of the COVID-19 pandemic. And it is safe to say that the effect of the pandemic has really minimized now. And we're just looking to bring everything to a normal like it was before. Thanks.
Okay, Adriana.
So direct response.
It's very related to what they're talking about. So
What is it, a direct response?
I can call it a direct response. I can call it a list. Because it is directly addressing this topic. Overall, I think my position is somewhat in line with the ISSU counselor. I think that overly lax or inconsistent counselors, both non-executive and executive, has been a consistent issue over the course of online council. I do think, however, that the order of priority between accessibility to issues with retention and performance, that order needs to be very clear and enumerated. I think the idea of a regret system wherein there is no explanation or evaluation of request, but simply the requirement of request could be a possibility. I would also consider that, like, due to us having a number of counselors with like noted neurodivergencies, there is a level of like bureaucratic hurdle that exists with that. I would also suggest that on grounds of disability, there could also be a version of like standing regrets relating to being online, where you could request regrets once. I'll be quick. I think, yeah, overall, it needs to be careful. I think there should always be some amount of hybridized notions within council. The other question, I don't know, this is an open question to executives. Have you guys directly consulted these plans with the accessibility coordinator?
Yes, but I'll limit your response to your direct response and could bring that up in the list. DNA.
I have a request for I'm trying to every time I don't go meeting. I want to take a document that go take everything I want to the meeting. The document the document important
Things that went on in the meeting.
like so I felt we should look at document like a Word document, like having the thing that we went to the meeting, the list of important things that we went to the meeting, and then we can benefit everyone.
So there's a post-meeting document.
Yeah, but I'm thinking it was a Word document.
A Word document?
Yeah.
We kind of discussed in the previous meeting how we don't really have live updates because we have, the pre-meeting documents, and then they're kind of, we amend things as we go on.
That's what you.
Yeah, it's hard to keep up, and everyone does have different needs, so accessibility wise, it is better if we have something live where we can edit, we can all be seeing that. Even if it's only one person typing and editing at the same time, at least we can all view it or have some sort of system where we're updated live.
Can I have a general response to both of those?
That would be okay.
Just in terms of the concerns brought up by the ISSU counselor as well as the DNA counselor, I think that both of those would be great initiatives for the accessibility committee, which will be meeting very soon, June 26th. The last call for agenda items will be a week before that, which is the 16th. 19th. 19th. So I can put those on the agenda, and if nobody or if anybody else has any concerns like this, we do have quite a bit of time before the proposed plans. I do have my concerns regarding the, thank you. I do also have my concerns regarding accessibility concerns for the upcoming in-person council system. I will be ensuring that the accessibility committee discusses those and then relates that information back to the executive. And I just want to say, like, the executive is more than, I mean, if I can speak for all of us, more than welcoming to these concerns, and we were going to make sure that we try and address them all before we launch this system, and we will be keeping you updated as well along that process.
The intention of a in-person council system is to build and promote a more cohesive and a council that is a better community, that we think will creating a better community within council will better serve serve the students. So, and all the people we represent. So but it isn't a like, it's a living plan, so it'll change and grow as we as a community change and grow to deal with our own needs. So like if the way that the system is proposed right now doesn't work, and we say it doesn't work, then it's not like we as the executive are gonna force a system that everyone doesn't want, because that's not our goal. Our goal is for a better community, and we don't wanna like directly fail that.
As a question relating to the transition towards fully in-person council sessions. What's the intended rollout of that? Is it intended to be a measure that executive implements? Is it intended to be a single council vote, or is it intended to be a fractured council vote? And I can describe what I mean by that. There's multiple like nested measures within the in-person rollout. There is like the logistical concerns around space. There's accessibility concerns around how accessing online options will work. There's a number of like different components to what it means to be in person. Will each of those, if it is to become a motion brought to council, be one motion, or will those be fragmented into separate motions?
First of all, when we say in-person council, even in our most optimistic discussions, it's only 80 to 90% in person. So that's, first of all, that's our highest expectation, the like most optimal dream. And then for the other pieces, that depends on how everything goes. It was really, we start hybrid council, jump in the pool, see how things go, play it by ears, see what council says, see what the accessibility committee says, see how the room works, see how our technical difficulties work, see if we find another system, for example, that works better for space. Like maybe if we do that, that would probably be a swap motion. Like it's a see as it goes over the course of this semester. It's not a, I said before, it's not like a set hard plan. It's like a more of a plan that takes its own way. It meanders a bit, but it happens.
Yeah, just to roll off that, again, most of what we said was really about just casting the vision for you guys. And the goal was to use the summer to transition into that. So there are no concrete plans yet. That was just this vision sharing on where this is going. But as the summer progresses, that's something we'll be working on. To have a more structured plan in place.
Does anyone else have any comments or burning questions at this time? If not, I'm going to move to adjournment. No.
I have a
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. Grayson?
Hi, everyone. Just to add a couple quick comments here. I volunteer on some committees at the municipal level, and they've all struggled with this, particularly sort of with volunteer committees. And one of the things they've struggled with is how to strike a balance between accessibility and sort of commitment, as we're discussing. And there is a trade-off between asking people to come in consistently, and people who have valuable input to give, but aren't able to make that commitment. And I mean, you look at the individual municipalities, and that's something I encourage you to do over the summer, to see how they've made the transition to hybrid, and then to completely on Zoom and then back again. I think what you'll find is municipalities that are, defenders of democracy, they strive to make the hybrid option of it more available. They put the work in, they figure out the technology, they make it work because they want people to be able to volunteer their time. They value that participation. Whereas municipalities that maybe don't want people speaking up on certain issues, they've gone back to full in person. So I'm not saying you guys are trying to do this one way or another. I'm just saying there's, 21 or 22, I can't remember how many municipalities out there that have dealt with this over the last year or so. And, we can learn from that. I would always err on the side of accessibility because I think our organization values that different perspective. Even if, yeah, sorry.
Since you're not included on the accessibility committee, maybe I could ask that you just attend one of the meetings if you have some. Oh, he is.
Absolutely.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. I'll look into it.
Mechatronics has the next list.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
I was just wondering because I never saw anyone discuss this. What about co-op students who have to like work in, for example, downtown till 5:30?
We'll discuss specifics later. I think we're aiming to wrap up this discussion because there are a couple things we need to do, if it's okay.
Yeah, just something to think about. Awesome. Thank you.
I'll take note of it. Thank you.
Education counselor.
Hi, really quick question. So I'm just wondering about guests sitting in on these meetings. So if I knew someone who wasn't part of the SFSS but was interested in coming to a meeting and like seeing how it works, would they be allowed to do that?
Yes, there should be a public link.
Sorry?
Yes, there should be a public Zoom link. Anyone's allowed to join council meetings
Okay, perfect. Thank you. That's all.
in person.
Mine's a list. It's not related to the kind of discussion. I like the name placards. I think they're very fun. I like the Roberts rules. I like that they're a whiteboard. And I wrote my name in fancy lettering.
Thank you for the feedback.
That is my feedback.
I just request a room with AC.
ISSU,
feedback.
did you have a point you wanted to add?
Pardon?
You just wrote it.
Go ahead.
Just looking for can I get a
Yeah.
direct response? Can I get some clarification to your question
Right.
for the ISSU, specifically the part where you say, do we know council supports you?
ISSU, I don't know if you got that, but there was a question about clarifying what you meant by your question.
I just meant like, at least from what I can see on my camera, there's only 13 people in the room right now, but there's 26 online. And I know you guys are trying to make this like a happy family, but like a council is a team, right? The executives are leaders, but we're all part of the team. And I'm wondering if the turnout online shows that council, I'm not speaking for the people online, but it might show that people aren't fully supportive of going fully in person. I'm wondering if at some point we should vote or see what counselors think about it, like take a roll call vote, because I'm interested to see if people actually support this if they're asked one by one.
MEB counselor.
All right, I just want to have a direct response to that. Again, we are in summer term. Everyone has different commitments. Not everyone is on campus at the moment, right? So hybrid for transitioning to fall is ideal right at the moment. However, I do agree that we are encouraging in-person meetings, but your statement is very just representative of where people are at with this summer term at the moment. Fall, things will change, people's schedules change, commitments change. And while I do agree that there are some accessibility concerns, it should be by a need basis without having to disclose any personal details. For example, I do have a chronic condition that does physically disable me sometimes. I shouldn't have to disclose that if I need to be online, but I should be able to notify the person who I need to notify, again, without disclosing any personal details. So that would be my comment towards that. Again, everyone's needs change, numbers and ratios will change in the fall as well. So please keep that in mind.
Can I?
ISSU has a direct response.
Actually, point of order, you're not supposed to speak directly to people.
I
Um,
believe that's not I think that's a parliament rule. Are you referring to when people speak to someone's name?
yeah, I don't know if we follow that, but also I just feel like, yeah, like my point stands that like, that's right now, but like my original point was like, we're not sure, like we haven't asked everyone on council if they support it. So even if it's summer and there's 26 people online and 13 in the room, maybe we should ask people one by one if they support it. Maybe we should vote on it.
Direct response.
And I don't know why that was so controversial.
Okay, I would say, again, I know you mentioned the people that showed up online. First off, that's not actually a clear show of interest or disinterest in going in person. For example, some people online today were actually in person last week. So that actually doesn't speak to their interest, but I get your question. I don't know if you were present at the first meeting, but this was something we did bring up at the first meeting. And there was quite a consensus, and that's why we decided to, proceed with this. But again, we're happy to, like Sam had mentioned, we're still evaluating what this would look like. And once there's a more concrete structure in place, we're happy to bring it back to council and council can make it.
Direct response, Mechatronics.
Yeah, I was just gonna say like we could just put this to a vote like next week and we'll know.
Not next week.
This is.
Adriana, go ahead.
My direct response, I think my overall summary that I just want to stress, I think at some point, maybe council wants to vote on this. This is not a soon issue. And with that, I highly suggest we call the question. This question, I think, has worn itself out in regards to this particular discussion item. I also don't know if calling the question is exactly right, given we're in the Q&A period. But either way, I recommend the discussion on this particular discussion item should cease. I think the next steps are to bring it to the accessibility committee, look at a vote later in the summer, create more consultation, more planning on what that could look like. But right now, there is no element of this that can be meaningfully discussed further.
I second your call to question.
There's no call to question.
My apologies.
Can we just, I just wanted to say that this is a plan in the works. We're not trying to sneak anything past council. We are, this is just something that we're discussing. Also, Q&A periods don't require quorum. So if councilors are frustrated with discussions and they don't want to stick around, you don't have to be here. So I see some, like frustrated sighs with a discussion that's going on a little bit longer than maybe we would want it to. So if you're interested in discussion, please stay. If not, feel free to go. But I appreciate all of the councilors' concerns. There will be avenues for you to express further opinions, and we will be reaching out to you guys, as well as consultation with equity seeking groups, including the accessibility committee. But I just wanted to say also thank you for like a lively discussion. Sometimes council just gets in and gets out, and I think that this is important. So we're not trying to make this controversial, make your concerns controversial. We're happy to discuss this.
Just did you have a list?
No, just in the chair.
If there's nothing else, we're gonna move on to announcements. And I'll pass it over to Emmanuel.
Just one thing, I had staff and some people check on the committee when to meet. For those that haven't filled it out, I just ask that you please do. For those elections that were done today, I don't know how that's gonna work since there are already people on the committee, but maybe you could resend out a one to meet because there are new additions. So if you're not filled out the one to meet, please do so. The call out should be going out by the end of this week. So if you haven't done that, please do. And just to clarify the question, for those that have already filled it out, when you put in your availability, were you putting those in based on the date, or were you putting them in based on the day of the week? What?
Yeah, response. I was putting it on the day of the week.
Okay, because that's what we want. Okay. Same thing?
Yeah, it was day of the week. I
Okay.
wasn't really looking.
And I just have a list and question concern for that. Is there who, I don't know how to ask this, when to meet only put in the parameters of Monday through Friday, day 10 hours, was that because that's the limit to when we could do these, or is it like?
Unfortunately, yes, because we do have staff that have to attend meetings, like so it has to be.
It has to be during, okay, that's what I'm just.
Yeah.
I'm open to, I'm guessing everyone else also putting their availability based on the day of the week. I'm gonna assume that, so if you already put it in, we'll be proceeding with whatever you've put in into those when to meet. And for those that were newly added to committees, we'll probably send out a new email once the mailing list has been updated. So that it's easy for each of us to put in their availability, but those will be due by Friday at noon. So I'm hoping we could have a quick turnaround on that, so that I could call the meetings for next week. Yes, that is.
Is there a place where it tells us what the committee is and what it does? Is there a place that's sort of?
If it's on our website, it would be, I always mix them up. Is it bylaws or policies? Council policies.
Yes. Is there anything else? No, there's not.
Time, sorry, we have to watch it start.
It's not.
That's it. Okay. If there's nothing else, we'll move on to section 17, adjournment. Can I get a mover. External moves, can I get a seconder? UB University seconds. Be resolved to adjourn the meeting at 4:46 p.m. I'm going to seek unanimous consent. 8:46. I'm sorry, it's too dark. 8:46 p.m. I'm going to seek unanimous consent. You wish to dissent, please speak up now. Seeing no dissent, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Oh, we started at 5.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry.
Sorry, everybody, for the whack sharing.
You did a good job.